Yes, a second ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, on a line needs to be hooked up to the load terminals. Here's why ground fault circuit interrupters protect downstream devices. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to protect downstream devices from ground faults. When connected to the load terminals, the ground fault circuit interrupter will monitor the current flow between the hot and neutral conductors and trip if it detects a difference of more than 5 mA, indicating a ground fault. If the second ground fault circuit interrupter is connected to the line terminals, it will only work for a few seconds before tripping. The ground fault circuit interrupter will see a continuous fault since the neutral is still connected to the downstream circuit. This constant fault will cause the ground fault circuit interrupter to repeatedly trip. To properly wire a second ground fault circuit interrupter on a line, firstly connect the line wires, black and white, to the line terminals on the first ground fault circuit interrupter. Secondly, connect the load wires, black and white, from the first ground fault circuit interrupter to the load terminals on the second ground fault circuit interrupter. And thirdly, connect the ground wire to the ground terminal on both ground fault circuit interrupters. By connecting the second ground fault circuit interrupter to the load terminals, it will protect downstream devices while preventing false tripping caused by upstream ground faults. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are crucial safety devices designed to protect individuals from electrical shock. They work by monitoring the current flowing through a circuit and quickly interrupting the power if a ground fault is detected. A ground fault occurs when electricity deviates from its intended path and flows through an unintended conductor, such as a person's body. This can happen if there's damaged wiring, faulty appliances, or contact with water. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, mandates the use of GFCIs in areas where water is present, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. This is because water significantly increases the risk of electrical shock. When installing multiple GFCIs on a single circuit, it's essential to understand how they interact to ensure proper protection and prevent nuisance tripping. The primary function of a GFCI is to detect imbalances in the current flowing through the hot and neutral wires. In a properly functioning circuit, the current returning through the neutral wire should be equal to the current flowing through the hot wire. If a ground fault occurs, some of the current will leak to ground, creating an imbalance. GFCIs are designed to detect even small imbalances, typically around 5 mA, and trip the circuit within milliseconds to prevent electric shock. When wiring multiple GFCIs on the same circuit, the first GFCI should be connected to the power source, or the line side, and subsequent GFCIs should be connected to the load side of the preceding GFCI. This configuration ensures that each GFCI protects all downstream devices and outlets. Connecting a second GFCI to the line side of the first GFCI can cause several problems. Firstly, it can lead to nuisance tripping. Because the second GFCI is monitoring the entire circuit, including the first GFCI, any slight imbalance in the first GFCI can cause the second GFCI to trip. This can be frustrating and disruptive. Secondly, it can create a situation where neither GFCI provides adequate protection. If both GFCIs are trying to monitor the same section of the circuit, they may interfere with each other's ability to detect ground faults. Thirdly, it is not the intended design and could cause damage in unsafe conditions. The correct wiring procedure involves connecting the line wires, typically black and white, from the power source to the line terminals on the first GFCI. Then connect the load wires from the first GFCI to the line terminals of the second GFCI. This creates a daisy chain effect, where each GFCI protects the devices connected to its load terminals. It's crucial to connect the ground wire to the ground terminal on each GFCI. The ground wire provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the circuit breaker and prevent electrical shock. When installing GFCIs, it's essential to follow the manufacturer's instructions and local electrical codes. It's also recommended to test the GFCIs regularly to ensure they are functioning properly. This can be done by pressing the test button on the GFCI, which should cause it to trip. If the GFCI doesn't trip when the test button is pressed, it may be faulty and need to be replaced. In summary, when installing multiple GFCIs on a single circuit, it's crucial to connect them in a daisy chain configuration, with each GFCI protecting the devices connected to its load terminals. This ensures proper protection and prevents nuisance tripping. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions and local electrical codes, and test the GFCIs regularly to ensure they are functioning properly. The consequences of improper GFCI wiring can be severe, ranging from nuisance tripping to a complete lack of ground fault protection. To prevent these issues, it's vital to understand the principles behind GFCI operation and the correct wiring procedures. Let's delve deeper into the potential problems that can arise from incorrect GFCI wiring and the steps you can take to ensure your electrical system is safe and compliant. One common mistake is connecting the load wires of a GFCI to the line terminals of another GFCI. This configuration creates a loop, where the two GFCIs are essentially monitoring the same portion of the circuit. As a result, any slight imbalance in the circuit can cause both GFCIs to trip simultaneously. This is known as nuisance tripping, and it can be incredibly frustrating, especially if it happens frequently. Another issue that can occur is a loss of ground fault protection. If the GFCIs are not wired correctly, they may not be able to detect ground faults effectively. This can leave you vulnerable to electric shock, which can be deadly. It's also important to note that GFCIs are not designed to protect against overloads or short circuits. These types of faults require circuit breakers or fuses to interrupt the power. GFCIs are specifically designed to detect ground faults, which are different from overloads and short circuits. To ensure your GFCIs are wired correctly, it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician. The electricians have the knowledge and experience to properly install GFCIs and ensure they are functioning correctly. They can also identify any potential hazards in your electrical system and recommend solutions to address them. If you're comfortable working with electricity, you can install GFCIs yourself, but it's crucial to follow the manufacturer's instructions and local electrical codes carefully. Before you start any electrical work, always turn off the power to the circuit at the breaker box. This will prevent you from getting shocked. It's also a good idea to use a voltage tester to confirm that the power is off before you start working on the wires. When connecting the wires to the GFCI, make sure the connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause arcing and overheating, which can lead to a fire. Use wire connectors to join the wires together and make sure the connectors are properly sized for the wires you're using. Once you've installed the GFCI, test it to make sure it's working correctly. Press the test button on the GFCI and it should trip. If it doesn't trip, there may be a problem with the wiring, or the GFCI may be faulty. If the GFCI trips frequently, there may be a ground fault in the circuit. You can use a multimeter to test for ground faults. Set the multimeter to measure resistance, and then connect one lead to the ground wire and the other lead to the hot or neutral wire. If the multimeter shows a low resistance reading, there's likely a ground fault in the circuit. In addition to GFCIs, there are other types of ground fault protection devices available, such as ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, and ground fault protection of equipment, or GFB. Ground fault circuit interrupters are similar to GFCIs, but they are designed to protect equipment rather than people. Ground fault protection of equipment is used to protect equipment from damage caused by ground faults. It's important to choose the right type of ground fault protection device for your application. If you're not sure which type of device to use, consult with a qualified electrician. GFCIs are an essential part of any electrical system, and they play a vital role in protecting people from electric shock. By understanding how GFCIs work and following the correct wiring procedures, you can ensure your electrical system is safe and compliant. Regular testing and maintenance of GFCIs are also crucial to ensure they are functioning properly. In the event of a ground fault, a properly functioning GFCI can save lives. When dealing with electricity, safety should always be your top priority. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, always hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. Electricity can be dangerous, and it's not worth risking your safety to save a few dollars. Remember, GFCIs are designed to protect you from electric shock, but they are not a substitute for safe work practices. Always follow safe work practices when working with electricity and never take shortcuts. Electrical safety is a serious matter, and it should be treated with respect. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are life-saving devices that protect people from electrical shock. Understanding how they work and how to install them correctly is crucial for ensuring the safety of your home or workplace. To summarize the key points, firstly, a second GFCI on a line should be connected to the load terminals of the first GFCI. This ensures that the second GFCI protects downstream devices from ground faults. Secondly, connecting a second GFCI to the line terminals of the first GFCI can cause nuisance tripping or a loss of ground fault protection. Thirdly, always follow the manufacturer's instructions and local electrical codes when installing GFCIs. Fourthly, test GFCIs regularly to ensure they're functioning properly. Fifthly, consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns about GFCI wiring or electrical safety. By following these guidelines, you can help ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are an essential part of modern electrical systems, and they play a critical role in protecting people from electric shock. Taking the time to understand how they work and how to install them correctly is well worth the effort.